Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. This video is going to go over the timeline of Wario and all of his games. A couple of these games aren't in the Wario series, but he's a playable character, so I'm going to include them. This is going to start off with the Yoshi's Island DS because this is the chronological first appearance of Wario. He's first seen in an undersea cave in this game because Kamek most likely kidnapped him off screen, but abandoned him because he's shown to throw temper tantrums all the time. So yeah, once you're playing the game and you find Wario, you can use his magnet abilities, showing that like he's been, greedy basically since he's a newborn. And this is how you collect coins easier. And after going through a few levels, you come across some bandits, which are enemies in the game that look similar to Shy Guy. Basically, Wario jumps on the bandits. He goes with them because he wants to steal their money, basically. I mean, you go through like a lot of the game without Wario again. But towards the end, he does come back as a playable character so that, along with other baby characters, Mario, Luigi, Peach, Donkey Kong, so that you guys can all defeat Bowser at the end of the game. And, yeah, so he's pretty much by himself. It's not shown, that he's goes anywhere to like live with his parents or anything like Mario and Luigi are, but he does kind of like end the game arguing with baby Bowser, so there's like a pretty big gap in the timeline showing from where Wario grows up, but you can only assume how he grows up. In the game Wario Land, Wario learns that this group of pirates stole a statue of Princess Peach, and he knows that Mario's looking for it, so he wants to go steal it first, basically. So he goes on this quest to, to steal this statue from these pirates. He eventually defeats the leader, Captain Syrup, but it's too late because Mario actually got to it first. But Wario does end up with a lot of treasure, so he's able to get his own castle. In Wario Land 2, the minions of Captain Syrup, they come to Wario's castle and steal like a lot of his treasure. They flood his castle, they steal his pet, and so Wario leaves to go basically fix what has been done to him. He defeats a bunch of enemies, he gets revenge on Captain Syrup. Wario goes back home and sleeps like he was at the beginning of the game. In Wario Land 3, Wario crashes his airplane into a forest, and after he gets out, he goes into a mysterious cave. And he finds this music box, I think, or an enchanted box, and gets transported into it. And there's a bunch of people living inside. And there's like an evil clown named Rudy who basically convinces Wario that he's a god. So Wario thinks he's a god that can save the day. And he's promised, a bunch of riches if he can find all of these boxes and, save the people inside. And he eventually does. And Wario plays the melody from the music boxes. And it turns all of the people inside into like monsters. And so he has to defeat them all, and then at the end he gets transported back to the real world with all the treasures that he got. In Wario Land 4, Wario finds out about a golden pyramid from a newspaper, so he drives there in his car. Once he gets inside, there's this black cat, and after going on an adventure inside the pyramid, it turns out that the black cat was actually the ruler of the golden pyramid. Her name was Princess Shakura, and after this adventure that happens inside the pyramid, Wario gets to go home with his treasure yet again. After the events of this game, I think that this is when Super Mario 64 DS takes place because Wario comes to the Princess Peach's castle along with Mario and Luigi. Bowser basically traps those three inside of the paintings and the castle, and Yoshi saves them in the order of Mario, Luigi, Wario, and Luigi saves Wario from Chief Chili, and then Wario becomes playable. He's, the most powerful character in the game. And after that game, I think this is where Wario World takes place. Wario finds a black jewel, and it turns out that it's evil, so it turns all of his treasures into monsters, and it kicks him out of his castle. And so he has to traverse all these crazy worlds and defeat all of these enemies, basically similar to like the adventures Mario goes on, and he defeats the evil jewel and gets back his castle. In the game Wario Master of Disguise, Wario sees a TV show about a famous thief, and he basically becomes jealous of him, and Wario invents a device that can take him into the television. So this leads me to believe that the events of this game don't really impact anything because he's just in a TV show, so it's a fictional world. But yeah, he meets Count Cannoli, who is kind of like a similar looking guy to Wario. He wears all purple, and he basically just competes with him in this game. By the end of the game, he can't take the treasure back home with him because it was all on TV. Originally, I just thought that he was transporting himself to where Count Cannoli was, but I'm pretty sure that he's just a fictional character and that Wario just was able to put himself into a fictional world. In the next game, Wario Land Shake It, the Shake Dimension is discovered. It's ruled by a guy called the Shake King, and he imprisoned Queen Merelda and her subjects. So Captain Syrup finds out about it from the outside world and basically informs Wario about it. He wants to go there because of all the money and coins that he could get. But Captain Syrup was tricking him, and she steals the bottomless coin sack from Wario after he gets it from the Shake Dimension. That's where the platforming games end on this timeline. There are a bunch of Wario games in the WarioWare series, and the first one is called WarioWare Incorporated Mega Micro Games. And Wario lives by himself in this game, and he has his costume from the first series of games. He's moved from his castle to this city. It's called Diamond City, and he gets the idea to make a bunch of small games and put them together and kind of just rip people off. So he gets a group of friends together. The next game, WarioWare Twisted, is pretty similar because he gets his friends to create games for him. He wants to take credit for it. In the next game, WarioWare Touched, he steals a mysterious dual-screened handheld gaming device. I wonder what that is. In WarioWare Smooth Move, Wario's at home by himself eating. This creature comes in and basically chases Wario all the way to this temple, and Wario's trying to steal from it, but then a boulder almost crushes him. But he escapes with his life, almost as if he wasn't gonna die in the first place. But yeah, Wario gets treasure in this game. In WarioWare Snapped, Wario opens a theme park, and his micro games are basically the main attraction. You could have to take pictures with your DS in it. I mean, with your DSi specifically. He doesn't wear his biker outfit in this game because he's opening an amusement park called Wario Park, and he's wearing like a carnival outfit in this game. So yeah, WarioWare DIY isn't really much in this story. None of these games really have a lot of story in the WarioWare. It's mostly just you play your mini games. But his friends basically stop working for him, and then they go work at a place called Diamond Software. And so Wario tries to hire the owner of a local video game store to help him. In Wario decides to make longer games instead of games that only last a couple seconds long. In WarioWare Gold, Wario steals this golden sphere and he runs out of money. Wario tries to set up a scam contest called the Wario Bowl to get as much money as possible. Even though Wario's trying to come out on top like every other game before, where he's trying to get all the money for himself, the game does eventually end with his friends splitting everything equally. Even though Wario's not really okay with that, he can't really do anything about it. WarioWare Get It Together starts out with Wario and his employees finishing a new game. It doesn't really work the way that they think it'll work. Wario gets all mad, but then he throws into the air, then everybody gets sucked into the game. The levels in the game are getting corrupted by quote-unquote game bugs. You have to defeat them. They're led by the Mega Bug. At the end of the game, Wario and friends come across a mysterious entity. They end up defeating it, but it turns out that it's a gaming competitor who went inside of Wario's game, and this is pretty upsetting to Wario. He's really mad about it. He did all of that. He got no treasure in return, no money. The lesson's supposed to be to have fun, but Wario doesn't really want to do that with games. He just sees it as a way to make money. So throughout this, he's pretty much not really consistently learned a lesson. So yeah, that was the last WarioWare game, and thanks for listening to me talk about all this. I like putting things in the timelines. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed me talking about games with not really important narratives. Have a nice day.